Hello class! Today we're going to do a GeoGebra activity. I want us to do a construction on GeoGebra. This is going to be the perpendicular bisectors of a triangle. And so what we're going to do is you're going to do the construction right along with me. I'm going to go probably a little bit faster than you will, so if you need to you can always pause the video. But it's kind of a neat investigation about the perpendicular bisectors of a triangle. So by the end of this, I want you to know what perpendicular bisectors of a triangle are, and then I also want you to know what the point of concurrency is for those, and then also what is really neat about that point of concurrency in relationship to the triangle itself. So there's three things really hopefully you can get out of this. So we're going to start out by making a triangle. Actually, before we do start that, why don't we go ahead and turn this axis off? We don't really need it, so let's right click on that and choose axis, and the axis will automatically go off. If your grid is on, your graph paper, then you can do right click and turn that off as well. I also don't really need this algebra screen, so I'm going to close that. Alright, so let's click on our polygon tool. We'll create a scalene triangle here, and you can just create it however you want. There we go, we've got our polygon. Now notice my labels are turned off, which you can turn them on if you want, or they can be on or they can be off. If they're on, you probably got a label right here, a lowercase letter, and that might be a little annoying, but you can get rid of it easily by right clicking on that and clicking show label, and it will go off. If I click it, it will come on right there, but I want that to not be on, so I'm going to right click and uncheck show label. So the first thing we're going to do is create the perpendicular bisectors of each of these lines. Now remember, a perpendicular bisector is a line that will hit this line not only perpendicular but also at its midpoint, and we're going to do that for all three of the sides. So first of all, I want you to construct the midpoint. So you're going to choose in your point tool menu the midpoint or center, and we're going to let the computer find that midpoint for us just by clicking on the line, and let's do that with all three sides. So there's the midpoints. So now all we need to do is create a perpendicular line through those midpoints. So we're going to go up here to the perpendicular line tool, and if you hover over those icons up there at the top, it tells you how to make the perpendicular line. So this says select point and perpendicular line. So we're going to select the point and the perpendicular line. We're going to select the point and the perpendicular line. We're going to select the point and the perpendicular line. And so you can see that all of the perpendicular bisectors of the triangle come together at a point. We're going to call this the point of concurrency. And points of concurrency can occur in a lot of ways and a lot of different pictures, but this particular point of concurrency has a name, and I want you to Google that and try to figure out what is the name of the point of concurrency of the perpendicular bisectors of a triangle. Shouldn't be hard to Google. It's a pretty common point of concurrency, so I want you to Google that and look that up. Now I want to identify this intersection point by going over here and choosing the intersect tool, and we're going to intersect these lines. Honestly, if you just pick two of them, it will create that intersection point, and you can see it there. If your labels again are turned on, then you'll see a letter right there next to that. So I want you to just drag that triangle around. Just kind of notice that those points of concurrency always, that point always stays intact. Those lines always remain, they always intersect at a point, no matter what kind of triangle you build. So that's one of the pretty neat things about the perpendicular bisectors. Now there's something else that's really neat about the perpendicular bisectors. So go ahead and drag that triangle around until your point of concurrency lands inside the triangle again. So what I want you to do is I want you to create a line segment. So not a line, but a line segment. And I want you to connect a vertex with that point of concurrency. And let's do that with all three vertices. With the vertex to the point of concurrency, from the vertex to the point of concurrency. And I want you to measure those three lines that you just created using the measuring tool, which is going to be in the measuring drop-down menu, distance or length. And we just do that by clicking on those line segments. And the computer will automatically measure that for us. Now we can move those numbers around a little bit just by selecting our move tool. And I can move those numbers to where they sit a little bit closer to the line, or if they ended up awkward at all, you can move them. Alright, what do you notice about all those three measurements? Hopefully you notice they're all the same. So, and again, if you drag your triangle around, it doesn't seem to matter. Those vertices are always equidistant from the point of concurrency. It happens every time with every triangle. Everybody around the room is doing this construction right along with you, and notice that all of theirs everybody's is going to happen just like that. So what's really cool about that is that it creates a circle. So I want you to do the circle with center through point tool. And notice if we hover over that, it does tell us to select the center point, then a point on the circle. So we're going to use these three line segments that we just measured as the radii of our circle. So click on the point of concurrency and then stretch that circle out all the way so that it hits a vertex. And lo and behold, it actually hits every single vertex. So that point right there, that special name for that point, which I can't wait for you to look up, that point is special. Not only is it the point of concurrency for the perpendicular bisectors, but it's also the center of this circumscribed circle. This is called a circumscribed circle. It is a circle that touches every single vertex of the triangle. And again, you can drag your triangle around. Drag your triangle, and you can see that that circle is not going to let go of that triangle. It is literally circumscribed around it. So anyway, what I want you to do before we head out here is I want you to create a text box, and I want you to, you're going to have to go Google the name of this point, but once you do, I want you to type the name of that point right there in the text box and then click OK, so that that name of that point ends up right on your picture. Alright, and then once you've got that done, you're going to go to File, Export, and you can export this as a picture. Maybe put it on your desktop, and here pretty soon when we get these all done, you just go ahead and save it and name it whatever you want, but put it on your desktop. You can call it perpendicular bisectors if you want. And then we're going to enter that. When you get done with all your drawings, I want you to insert those into a Google Doc and then share that with me so that I can see all your drawings. But let's get all your drawings done first. So this is your first drawing. You'll have a few more to do before it's over. Great job, and please rewind if you need.